Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and to another Fortnite tips and tricks video. And in this video, I'm going to show you all the best drop spots in Chapter 6, Season 3, Super. Now, the very first one you're going to find down to the left from the floodgates here, the dam. There's going to be this train that is now been disabled and blocked off, and you're going to find a lot of chests on this train every single time and some barrels. But the special thing about this spot is that there's always going to be at least 2 epic chests on this broken down train every single time you land here. And now, if you're not lucky enough to get enough shield items to be at full, you don't even have to worry either, because if you just run over to the train station, there is always a vending machine where you can purchase to get yourself up to full shields every single game, making this a great drop spot to land at, regardless if you're playing solos, duos, trios, or squads. But now, let's move on to the next drop spot. Alright, so the next drop spot here is going to be at the Flooded Frogs location. And you're going to want to put your marker just where you see me put mine here, near these trees that are attached to the side of the building. And now you're going to find a porta potty, and when you jump down inside of the porta potty, you're going to be able to find about 3 to 4 chests and enough slurp barrels in order to get yourself up to full shields every single game. And you also don't have to worry about getting trapped inside this location, as if you break this one rock here, it will bring you into another little room with some more loot. And then there's a second rock which you can break again around the corner, which will also bring you out into the middle of this POI. Also, people seem to have trouble finding you down in this location for some reason, so have fun with this one. Now, let's move on to the next location. And that brings us on to our next drop spot. You can find this one at the very top of the map here. It's going to be like this kind of farm location with a bunch of rows of green grass. Now, the nice thing about this spot is there's enough loot for an entire squad, and there is a slurp truck in which you can land at, and all the loot is fairly close, but just a little bit spread out. You don't even have to go into any buildings, but there is one building which you can also loot. And on top of that, there's also a shadow briefing quest here, which enables you to pick one weapon, and you have to usually get headshots or a kill with it in order to complete that little mini quest. But if you're unlucky and don't find a shotgun or don't find an AR, you can just grab one from this little machine right over here. And you also have a reboot van at this location and a chance for one of those stands with a superhero weapon to spawn right here. Other than that, there's not really much more to show here. This location also is kind of on the outskirts of the map, so you may have to end up running through Storm more often landing here, depending on how the game plays out. So, let's just move on to the next location. Now, you can find this next location also at the top of the map, but kind of more on the right center side. It's going to be at this one big giant house right here. And now, despite this location spot, I actually do bump into players here fairly often. Now, you're going to have a lot of chests all along the outskirts of this house, and there is also a reboot van here, and there is a hidden slurp truck underneath like a deck, which I will show you in just a second. Plus, there is also usually some vehicles parked out front, which you can then use to rotate to different areas of the map, making this a pretty good location to land at, regardless if you're playing solos or even playing up to squads. Legitimately, there's so much chests and loot here that half the time I don't even bother to actually even go inside the house itself to search it, because I just don't even need to, and I'll have a full loadout every single time I come here. Plus, this place has a really good layout and is actually really good for actually fighting in. There's lots of cover you can use in zero builds, making it a pretty strong drop spot. But now, here's that slurp truck, and we're going to get on to the next spot. Now, this next location does actually require you to follow a particular loot path in order to get all the loot to make it good, so it's a little outside the box. So you're going to land at the middle of the map. You have the snowy mountain here, near where you're going to find this porta potty. You're going to get 2 chests, And then you're going to find 3 slurp barrels which you can hit to get 30 shields. Afterwards, you're then going to go down inside the porta potty and you will pop out inside of these tunnels. And immediately you will find 4 more slurp barrels, which will now put you at a total of 70 shields. Also, there is a hero chest that can spawn here, and if you're lucky, you'll have a high enough hero rank to open it, but this is random, I do believe. And there's also a few floor drops, which you will find inside of this tunnel. And at the one end, there's also usually one of those hero stands. Will have one special hero weapon. You can see it up on the left hand side, right here. There's also a few chest spawns which can spawn inside and around this tunnel. But now if you leave the tunnel and you run up the hill as shown here, you're going to see that there's this house on stilts. And underneath that house, you're then going to find enough slurp barrels in order to make sure that you are at 100 shields every single game. So with a little bit of legwork, you can get full shields every game by landing at this location, making it not such a bad drop spot after all. On to the next one. Now, this next location can be found at the bottom right corner of the map, and I'm sure you remember those big giant turtles that have been here since Chapter 6 launched. So, on these turtles, you'll usually find a variety amount of chests, as well as some floor loot, and there's always also some barrels which you can hit in order to get some shields. There is a campfire for guaranteed green health in case you do get into a little fight there and need to heal up a bit, and a zip line to lead you across between the 2 turtles. And on the one turtle, there is a sprite shrine. There we go. Say that 10 times fast if you must. Anyways, when you return a sprite to one of these shrines, it will actually increase your hero level by like a little bit because you get 250 hero XP. Also, you're going to get one of the boon cards dropping from it every time, along with some pretty decent loot. And also, they always drop shockwaves, which is also very handy if you're a person who's struggling to get shockwaves this season. And on top of that, these turtles also have jump pads which you can then use to rotate. Now, the only one bad thing I will say about this spot is that it is always at the very outskirts of the map, and a lot of times you are going to end up having to do more traveling to get away from storm if you land here. But overall, it's still pretty decent drop spot to use, that you're going to get a bit of hero XP, decent loot every single time, and not be contested very much by other players. So without further ado, let's jump on to the next spot. Okay, so this next spot is actually going to be a secret cave, where you can find it near this waterfall, near Canyon's Crossing. Just check out the location on the map here. So now as you see here, I'm jumping down the waterfall, and I'm going to take this zip line all the way up to the top. It's the zip line on the left, not the one on the right. And you'll see these rocks here, and when we break them open, shazam! Here's a nice big cave for you to loot. Actually, the cave is actually pretty tiny, technically, but yeah. Anyways, you're going to find about 6 slurp barrels, you up to 60 shield, and there's about 4 to 5 chests inside. Not much else to talk about here, folks. On to the next one. And so this next location is just above where the bridge is on the map at these 2 little ponds. Now, what's nice about this spot here is the fact that it's an unnamed POI on the map, so not a lot of people come here. You have a lot of geysers that you can use that can actually transport you to quite a few different POIs on the map. And the water here at this location will actually heal you slowly over time while you swim in it, which is kind of nice. That's both green health and shields. Now there's this one larger sized building to the one side of the ponds that usually has 2 chests inside of it which you can loot. And now on the docks going around the ponds, there's also a hero chest. If you're lucky, maybe it'll be rank seed, you can open it up right away. If not, that's just how it goes some games. And there's also a hero stand which pops up near the other smaller little building at the end, which will have a hero weapon, and it's nice if you can get mobility from this one for sure. But again, one of the biggest highlights to this spot is the fact that when you're in this water, you are going to restore shields and health over time. You can also heal up faster while using healing items in this water, and these 2 geysers which you can use to transport yourself to numerous locations, as you can see here, such as Pump Power, Utopia City, Brutal Boxcars, and many more. That brings us on to the next spot, and this one is just more of an honorable mention. This is the Outlaw Oasis. Now, same deal here. This water will heal you over time. Here you get a bigger POI to search, which might be better to fight in the other location, but it's at a worse spot on the map, and there's not too many places you can really travel to from here in compared to the other one. So that's enough of this spot. Search for yourself if you want to find out more. On to the next. Alright, so this spot here is another unnamed location. It's at the very topmost area in the map here, where it's kind of looking like autumn. Now, not really a whole lot to say about this location. You're going to get a couple chests that are kind of spread out. There is a reboot van if you end up needing to use one. And there's like 3 slurp barrels over on the far right corner of the map. Now, the only thing that this spot really has going for it is no one except for bots lands here. So if you want to just camp out some rank points, this might be a spot for you. You get a little tiny bit of shields, a few chests, and even though it's at the very end of the map, where you're likely going to be running from Storm, there is a geyser which you can use to rotate that will then bring you into 2 other geysers which you can use to rotate even farther to the center of the map. That's about it for this spot. Let's move on to the next one, folks. So now this next location is just to the left of Demon's Domain, this little snow area biome here. Now what you're looking for is these 2 zip lines that lead really far down to the ground. As soon as you land, just look over to the right. Sometimes you'll find a chest here, other times you won't. Then you just want to break this big box here, and then you'll find a hole, which will lead you to a tunnel, and then you turn left, and you're going to get 3 chests and 2 slurp barrels in the shape of a happy face. Not much more to say about this one, but kind of interesting little spot, don't you think? Another super simple spot here is just right in between the Outlaw Oasis I mentioned earlier in Crime City. You'll find this circle of like giant bamboo trees, and in the middle of it, you're going to find 3 chests. That's it, but not a bad little spot to fall back to if you're going to land at Outlaw Oasis or something and there's just way too many people going and you're not comfortable, or you want to camp in a bush hole game. Let's move to the next. So now, one thing different about this season is we do have the Scout Spires and the Overlord Spires on the map, which can show up at numerous different POIs or random locations. You can see them by the symbol that shows up on the map marking where they are. And now, the reason why you might want to land here is because, for one, you're going to have to fight. 2, every time you kill the guards they spawn, it's going to give you 25 points of loot towards your hero rank. Plus the loot they drop, especially the Overlord Spire here. At this point, it's always going to drop a random, unstable exotic weapon, and it's the only way to get exotic weapons this season, to my knowledge. Now, these things do take quite a bit of while to kill. You want to shoot the little tiny mini shields floating around the spire first, because they do more damage than if you shoot the actual spire in the middle. Then when you're done killing it, you'll get a bunch of loot, including that exotic I was talking about. So definitely keep these in mind when choosing a drop spot, and if you want to land somewhere that is near one of these, you can go third party it. Anyways, after running around with a chicken with your head cut off for 5 minutes and going back and forth, shooting this thing, killing all the third parties, eventually, after you put a butt ton of bullets into it, it will die. And then when it dies, it's going to go like fall to the ground and stuff, and then you're going to find a whole big pile of loot. And here's what you get. As you can see here, there's going to be quite a few legendary weapons. There's going to be that unstable exotic weapon, some shields, some healing items, gold, ammos, all that jazz. Not too shabby at all. So I'm not going to waste too much time here on the smaller spire, the Scout Spire here. But this one basically summons a few enemies that you kill. You can go towards your hero rank. Much easier to kill. And this one generally drops some okay, decent loot. But that's nothing crazy, no exotics, nothing like that. But you do get a card, and you will usually get at least purple rarity loot out of this. On to the next. And so now we're getting into the more populated POIs. So this one's going to be none other than the Supernova Academy. So now the first thing I'm going to say is this location has a lot of these sprite shrines all around it, which you can then use in order to get up your hero level very quickly, which you're going to need at this location, as there's a lot of different hero chests to open, and also vault rooms that you need to have a certain level for, and so on and so forth. But let's first start out with this fancy little trading room here, which is right beside where Morgan Mist is. So If you check out this, you hit the button, start your trading. This is almost like similar to a creative like aim trading map. You have to jump around, collect the coins, and shoot the red target. Once you complete this all in time, the door will then open and you will get a couple epic chests, some healing items, and a bunch of other stuff. And of course, inside that room, there is also going to be a porta potty which you can use for a quick and easy escape, so you don't have to worry about somebody needing to jump on you and being trapped in this little tiny room. So next, I'm now going to take you to one of the other spots where there's all these little rooms you can open up that are based off your hero level, and those are also right here at Supernova Academy, so let's go. So to find these special little, I guess we'll call them war rooms, they're usually downstairs at different locations inside of Supernova Academy. You need to hide a hero rank, you just stand in front of the door, scan your rank. Now there'll be different items you can buy on the walls, but there will be some stuff you can pick up for free. There'll also always be a hero chest in there, which you can open up, which will be the same rank as whatever is on the door. But also, the nice kicker here is there's also mythic weapons that you can buy on some of these walls, but you do have to have the gold, so do remember that. And now our next spot is going to be none other than Demon's Domain. Now, like, what a surprise! A spot with a boss that you have to fight that gives you a medallion and good weapons would be on the list. Now, I deliberately put this one near the end of the video because not everybody likes to fight these hectic, busy boss POIs. You know, this is not a video about how to defeat the boss easily with tactics or none of that, just like different drop spots, but if you are going to land here, you might want to clear out the POI of all the different enemies and all the NPCs running around and all the enemy players first, and then try to fight the boss, because he does take quite a while to defeat him. And if you are lucky enough to survive after emptying about a dozen clips into this guy and surviving every third fight that comes at you, you will then be awarded with an enhanced fire rifle that shoots faster than the other one, does more damage, and has extra ammo, and plus, probably the best medallion in the game right now. Medallion makes you reload your weapons faster, and also restores your shield over time. It's kind of like we did in Chapter 5, Season 1, where the medallions were OP. So now, on to the bonus spot, because you made it this far in this video. Let's go! So there's this hut just over the river to the right of the Foxy Floodgate, and if you go in it, you'll find this suitcase. The Suitcase of Patience. And now, this is kind of actually the stupidest drop spot in the game. Or the stupidest thing they've added to the game. So this suitcase takes like 10 minutes to open it. After this clip's done and I'm done talking and signing off, I'll have a clip of me and a friend actually opening this in a duo so you can see what loot is inside of it. But yeah, this could have been really cool if, I don't know, you would get like, I don't know, like a loading screen or maybe a suitcase back bling or a suitcase pickaxe or, I don't know, a suitcase prop for Lego or anything, just special suitcase banner icon for opening this, but I find the loot in it isn't all that worth it. But that will be it for this video. I am Big Papa Smurf 187. I thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're new here, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me how I did here. And turn on that notification bell in case you're interested in more great Fortnite content or other gaming content. Then don't forget to have fun gaming. Go jump over to the clip of me and my friend opening this. And all y'all, have a good day, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Bye for now. We got a minute and 18 seconds till we see where the next
Further than last time.
Come on, let's see. We're gonna get it. But I had to stop both times and go fight people, right? Otherwise, like, if you're solo, you'd have to just stop or die, right? You know what I mean?
Hey, yup. Oh, there's a sliver.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Look at
We're gonna
sliver.
we're gonna open it in a real game. 9 minutes, 48 seconds, 49, 50,
Oh, there's a cut here.
52, 53,
There's a
54,
cut here.
55, 56,
Cut here.
57,
Done.
58,
Done.
59. My bad. Open sesame. Oh, was it worth it? In a real game? You tell us. Was it worth it? Hashtag.
See it.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think it was
no.
worth it. heal up, drink your big pots, grab that chug jug, whatever. I was gonna say save last 15 minutes.